This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Leader of the official opposition, FNM, Michael Pintard, says they will be taking their grievances beyond the House of Assembly during a press conference on Wednesday evening following chaos in the lower chamber, which saw opposition MPs protesting the government not allowing for the question and answer session, which is mandated by rules of the House to take place on the second Wednesday of Parliament. Mr. Pintard listed a number of things the opposition has done and is prepared to do.
We've written the Prime Minister about many national issues, hoping that he would be a big man and respond in a favorable way to recommendations from the Bahamian people through us. We've used the Public Accounts Committee, and we've written every permanent secretary in the Bahamas. One of them responded to seek to provide information on contracts that had been issued to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. The rest of them didn't see the need to do so. Beginning next week, we will be summoning through the Public Accounts Committee permanent secretaries, heads of corporations, to come and answer the questions raised by the Bahamian people through us. We have written the commissioner with responsibility for the freedom of information and have not been able to access the relevant information that we need.
The opposition leader reiterated that on only one occasion have they been able to hold a question and answer session. Mr. Pintard highlights what he perceives as a lack of cooperation, citing discrepancies between the government and various industry sectors of the economy.
And they have proven over and over again they are unwilling to be democratic. They are unwilling to consult with the opposition in much the same way they have not been willing to consult with various private sector groups, even when they are making decisions that could dismantle the lives of various Bahamian business persons. And so we believe it's important now to turn it up. It's important to show up at their office and occupy some of those offices to get their attention. When we went to the Prime Minister's office to hold a press conference, they barred a group of Bahamians who came in peace from going on the property to talk with them in the backdrop. The same government that has a boat on the six-legged roundabout, and they said it's there because the people love them. They now greet these very same Bahamians who love them with officers outside of Parliament locked and loaded with machine guns.
Mr. Pintard is accusing the current administration of being undemocratic, quoting American civil rights activist, the late John Lewis, noting that the opposition party is getting into good trouble.
The union isn't just there because it wishes to represent remuneration matters. They are there because they know the civil liberties of employees are being violated. We must stand with employees who are being bullied by political operatives, who are not qualified to hold the positions they are, to be paid the money that they are. Persons are being paid from the government purse to be on the radio savaging ordinary Bahamians. We can no longer idly stand by. And when we raise reasonable questions in the Parliament of this government, their response is to seek to hide the truth, but worse now, their response is to threaten members on our side. Yesterday we have listened to a number of those threats.
In news from the Grand Bahama Magistrates Court, 3 male suspects were arraigned for 3 separate matters. Herman Major Jr., 35 years old, of Dead Man's Reef, Grand Bahama, appeared before the magistrate court charged with rape and causing harm. Initial reports reveal that around 1:30 a.m. on Monday, January 30th, police were notified that a 23-year-old female was found lying in the streets at Dead Man's Reef, West Grand Bahama. According to reports, the victim was in and out of consciousness and as she was catching a ride with a male known to her when she was attacked and subsequently sexually assaulted. Major was not required to enter a plea to the charges. He was denied bail and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until Wednesday, May 3rd. In the second court matter, 31-year-old Joshua Oliver of Coral Gardens was arraigned for unlawful sexual intercourse and burglary in connection with the sexual assault of a juvenile female, which occurred shortly before 2 a.m. Tuesday, January 31st. Prosecutors say Oliver burglarized a home in a Freeport neighborhood and sexually assaulted the girl before getting into a physical struggle with a male resident of the home, subsequently making good his escape. He was not required to enter a plea. Bail was denied for him as well, and he was also remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections Services until Wednesday, April 26th. Also in Grand Bahama police are on the hunt for two males who robbed a local business in Hunters, Grand Bahama on Wednesday. The two masked men, both allegedly armed with firearms, entered the establishment shortly before 9 p.m. and demanded cash. The culprits reportedly robbed the establishment of an undisclosed amount of cash, along with 2 loaves of bread and a cell phone, before fleeing the area in a lime green Nissan March. The first suspect is described as being 6 feet 2 inches in height, slim built, and a dark-skinned male he was. He was allegedly armed with a shotgun and wore a camouflage pants and long sleeves black jacket. The second suspect is described as a 5'10" tall male, slim built, fair-skinned. He was reportedly armed with a handgun and clad in a multicolored shirt with prints and a matching pants. Anyone with information that can assist police in locating any of the 3 suspects in these incidents are asked to contact the Criminal Investigation Department here on New Providence at 502-9991 or 2, or in Freeport at 350-3106 or 7. Meanwhile, police back here in the capital searching for a lone gunman who robbed a man of his purple Nissan March, license plate AK6500. Police say sometime around 9 p.m. Thursday, the victim was in the area of Khaki Close off Soldier Road when he was approached and subsequently robbed of his vehicle by a male allegedly armed with a handgun. An alleged serial thief was arraigned in the magistrate's court this week. Prosecutors say 33-year-old Denardo McPhee is responsible for a number of robberies. The accused stood before Magistrate Algernon Allen Jr., charged with 7 counts of armed robbery. McPhee was not required to enter a plea due to the nature of the crimes. As the charges were being read, McPhee held the right side of his ribs, complaining of pain in that area. When asked, McPhee told the magistrate that the pain is a result of him being beaten by police officers who forced him to admit to crimes that he did not do. He said he was working during the times that the robberies occurred, which was between January 8th and January 22nd. The 33-year-old is accused of stealing thousands of items, including multiple cell phones, laptops, cash, and approximately $20,000 worth of jewelry. Despite his injury claims, McPhee was denied bail and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections with an order by Magistrate Allen to see medical personnel immediately. He is scheduled to return to court for a voluntary bill of indictment on March 31st. Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper and Minister of Public Works and Utilities Alfred Sears toured the Junkanoo World Museum in Oaksfield, Horseshoe Drive. That is the area that Mr. Sears represents. With the promotion of culture and heritage tourism at the top of tourism's agenda, the Deputy Director General of Tourism, Dr. Kenneth Romer, says the purpose of today's visit was to explore organic and unique experiences for tourists, as well as finding ways to support local Bahamian stakeholders.
So this visit here was an indication that we support our cultural partners, our heritage partners, and as a result of this particular visit, I think that there were many interesting opportunities. Certainly we are looking at ways to explore opportunities coming out of Atlanta, more significantly Savannah, looking at ways to partner perhaps through our sister cities, looking at ways for us to increase our brand presence in that market, and overall just looking at ways to support our local entrepreneurs and stakeholders. Cultural tourism is going to play a huge role in all of that. Coming out of the pandemic, we found that there was increased opportunities for visitors to steal away to some of the smaller, unique experiences, whether they are sustainable tourism models or whether they are models that speak to creating, moving away from that mass tourism concept, So these kinds of opportunities are totally aligned again with tourism mandate to go out there, support entrepreneurs and create unique experiences for our visitors.
Quentin Woodside, also known as Barabbas, expressed his delight in having members of the government visit the museum. He says it was a long time coming.
This day is one of the best days from we built this country to me, because we was trying to get reps from the government agency, especially tourism and culture, to come down here. And this, for the staff and my family at Jcn News, this is the best day of our life here, because we know what we've been looking for, we're going to get. Honestly, I know promises is accomplished to a fool, but the ministers that step on this ground today, we automatically feel a difference. Before the pandemic, we lost a lot of great leaders, a lot of great personnel who put a lot of effort into this culture from various Jcn News groups. I look at the parade just gone the other day, and the Saxons lose so many. One family did not so much, but one family lose a great chunk coming down to the end. Wally boys, and they're great men who I know love it and sacrifice many years in this. So this is very important to preserve this culture.
The Ministry of Tourism has dedicated a robust branding budget as well as a team within the ministry to further promote cultural and heritage tourism within the Bahamas. And finally, while the New Providence-based Junior Jcn News Parade made a successful return to Bay Street on Thursday with 13 schools participating, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture has advised that the return of the Grand Bahama Junior Jcn News Parade, which was scheduled for this Saturday, February 11th, has been postponed to Thursday, February 16th due to impending inclement weather. After a 3-year hiatus, 24 schools from preschools to senior high schools are set to participate in the highly anticipated cultural event on Grand Bahama. Here in the capital on Thursday, one-on-one preschool took first place in the preschool division. In the primary school division, Centerville Primary won the first place prize, and in the senior high school category, first place went to CV Bethel Senior High. And that'll do it, folks, for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. Thanks for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.